Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. Spring is here, the irises are out, the weather is already super hot. I don't know how I feel about that, but one thing that I do feel very good about is the progress that I've made on the pergola. It's had many things added to it, lots has happened, and you're gonna see all of it in this video. I still have one more video left, I think, to do to finish everything off, but in this video I put a really big push on the work and get loads done. So enough chitter chatter, let's just get straight into the video and I'll see you again at the end. So this video is starting at the end of the day where I ended the last video, which you can see up here. In the previous video, I got the 3 front pieces of the pergola vertical along with the braces, and I'm looking at something right now that's pretty crazy, and I'm trying to figure out my next move as far as getting this thing installed. So this is what I'm dealing with. I've got 2 planed sanded rafters up there, 2 more over there, and I actually feel like I might end up going with 5 rafters total, so I'll have to do another one at some point. And I think my next move will be removing some of these stones here and then putting this end of the rafter in, at least so it has a place to sit. And then that's gonna allow me to tilt everything forward, secure it at the top, and then I can also probably secure this other side over here to the tree. Eventually this branch is going to come off, but I think for the moment it could be very useful for just holding everything in place. Because the pieces of wood are so big and bulky, I have to put quite a bit of thought into actually installing the thing, and as one person I have to be a bit creative. Sinead can come up and help me, I think, tomorrow. And I've got other friends on hand, as you saw in my previous video, who are willing to chip in and give a hand where needed. But since I've been working so hard on these rafters all day, I just wanted to show you what I've been up to as far as getting them into place, sort of. And basically I need to square it all off and then get it upright, get everything level both directions, figure out the height, and then I can start cementing the bottoms. So I've got some pretty fun stuff ahead, I think, and I just wanted to give you guys a sneak preview on what's turning out to be an absolutely gorgeous evening. So I'll be pondering this overnight. I don't think my plan's gonna change. I think I'll be going into the stone wall as my first thing. And that's a really big next step because these rafters have been puzzling me, and finally making a decision, finally starting the work, means that, yeah, something I've been kind of stressed out about will have been decided and will be underway. So it's a gorgeous evening. I just wanted to chime in, say hello, give you guys an update, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more work on the pergola. It's tomorrow, it's a gorgeous day. Pergola work is continuing. The plan, after a little bit of thought overnight, is gonna stay the same. I'm going through that wall and sticking the end of the rafter in there. I've got the tools I need to get going. So let's make a hole. So these tools should do the trick. I think my idea right now is to just break into the mortar or the pointing and see what's going on in there, and then maybe try to remove this stone here, and I'll probably have to take this one out and possibly replace it in 2 pieces. I don't really know. Let's just hack away and see what happens. Definitely needs a mask. Okay, change of plans. Time for the big guns and a mask. This is very dusty work. Might be a good idea to close the door. Try to prevent some of the dust from going in the house. So this whole plan hinges on me being able to get this stone out. Whether that works or not is anybody's guess, but I'm hopeful. All right, I've liberated this stone from the pointing, so let's see if I can wiggle this bad boy out. I have no idea if this is a good idea or a terrible idea, but we'll find out. That is dusty and very unpleasant. So the good news is that this stone went all the way back here, so it's a fair distance into the wall, which is great because that gives me somewhere to embed the rafter. The possibly bad news is that I think I want everything a little higher, so I feel like this stone might need to either come out or be cut in some way. I'm not sure yet, but for the moment, I'm not actually installing the rafters. All I'm doing is making a spot for the end of this rafter to go in so that it can sort of hold that in place, in theory. All right, so that's the idea. It definitely needs a lot more refinement, but the concept seems to be okay. I'm gonna do the same thing over on the other side as well, straight into the wall. And the other rafters, either 2 or more likely 3, will be put into the wall just with metal pieces and then clipped onto those instead of going the whole way in, because those rafters will be over the window and there's not that much space. Okay, what's next? I think my next move will be to try to secure everything so that I can tip the pergola upright without fear of it falling over. And then, once I do that, I can start figuring out the height I need of these things and possibly even get it cemented in. So I've got a lot of thinking and pondering and finicky things in my future to try to figure this out. So I'll put the camera away, as that is definitely not entertaining viewing. And I'll see you again when hopefully I have everything leveled off, everything plumbed, and these things ready to be cemented into place. I've been thinking about this and pondering, and now the posts are levitating at the correct height on both sides, and that's just to make sure that there's space for the cement to go in, plus the blocks, plus the other thing on top. The whole thing is level that way, plumb this way, and that way. And maybe you can see up there, I've actually attached the top of that to the tree to hold it in place. I've got another rafter up there just to visualize things. And before I cement anything in, which I also made a whole bunch of cement premix, so I've been pretty busy. But before I get to that, I want to get the rafter in place on the left side so that this doesn't want to go anywhere. As you can see, there's been an outfit change. The weather has seemed to have gone from cold and wet to hot and sunny overnight, basically. So we're full steam ahead into the summer, and my complaints about the cold weather will be replaced by complaints about the heat. But right now, it's all about me trying to get this rafter prepared to get it up there, and I want to get everything cemented into place today. So I've got a lot on my plate. Let's saw. that'll do for the moment. I'm just doing it all pretty rough right now. And the next thing I want to do is mark up the overhang on the front of the rafter to match the same angle and depth as the ones that I have on the ends. Okay, so things are going well so far, but I've got a little bit of rafter refinement to work on. So I'll get to work on adjusting that so it fits, and more importantly, trying to figure out what the heck to do with the other end. I have to chop it off, might have to remove that stone, I'm not sure yet. But what I do know is it's jobs for off camera, because it's going to be annoying, so you'll see me again when this thing is in place. Okay, it's a brand new day. It's beautiful out here, and this is where I'm at with the rafter. I've adjusted the notch so it fits in on top of the beam perfectly. I've carved out the front of the rafter, or cut it out to look like the front of this one more or less. And down here at the other end, you'll notice I've put some screws in the bottom just to help it grip onto the cement better once it all goes into the hole. So let's get this thing in place, and then I can move on to cementing it all in. So I've got some squaring off to do. I've got to level the rafter a little bit, and then I'll cement it all into place. But before I get to that, I just wanted to mention about the color of the pergola. I was hoping to get it the same color as the window and the gas bottle box, which is a much darker brown. I don't know how I didn't notice that it wasn't going to match up until the sun came out on it, but now it's very obviously a different color. However, many of you have mentioned that the color matches my roof tiles, and I don't totally hate it, but I'm not 100% sold on it yet. So I'm just going to stain everything the color that I have, and then I'll make a decision on the future color. If I want to change it later on, it'll just be a matter of whacking a coat or two of the other stain on. So I'm not going to make any decisions on the color just yet. I like it, I don't love it, but maybe it'll grow on me. So right now, I've got to square this up, do all that stuff off camera, and then we'll get cementing everything into place, including the towers at the feet of the poles. All right, that'll do for squareness, and I've stuck the rafter out towards the end of the beam so that it matches up sort of with the edge of the doorway. And this, as it is currently level. I'm probably gonna raise this up just a little teeny tiny bit so that the water wants to run away from the house rather than getting on top of the wood and then running towards it. A common question I've been getting a lot is what to do about the pergola roof. So a pergola by design I don't think has a roof on it. It's just a structure to hold climbing things. At least in my case, that's the intention. So I'm not going to be putting any kind of plastic roof on it, no tiles, nothing like that. So any slanting that I'm doing of the rafters is purely for shedding the water. It's not going to be holding a roof structure. However, it will be holding a canvas, but I'm gonna hang the canvas below the roof, the pergola rafters, and I'm gonna do it in such a way that I can take it in and out for shade, for allowing the sun in. If it's raining, I can pull it forward because I'm hoping to find something that's waterproof. Everything is looking squarish, it's levelish, it's plumish, and I'm ready to get this cement into that hole, and then I'm gonna move on to the little towers. So I'm really excited about this step. This pergola has been a long time coming. I've been working on the components, and this is going to be the first time that it actually gets all fastened into place. And so that means that once I do this, all the heights are set, there's no going back, and I think all the preparation that I've done up to this point has meant that I think things are going to go as planned, or at least close to it anyway. So I'm excited. Let's cement this thing into place. So this is going to be pretty tricky to film. I've got my thing of cement here balanced precariously on the ladder, or at least I'm trying to do that. And I guess I'll just scoop everything into the hole and hope everything goes to plan. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that I wouldn't normally be using cement in a stone wall. In this case, I just want it to cure quite quickly, whereas lime takes a lot longer. So because it's just kind of a lump inside the wall, I'm not so concerned about it. I wouldn't render an entire wall with cement because it gets rid of the breathability of the wall. But in this case, because it's just a sort of anchor, I'm okay with using a bit of cement. So this is where I'm at. I'm balanced precariously on the top of the ladder, shoveling cement into a hole. It's definitely not easy to film. So the camera is going away, and you'll see me again when this thing is in place. So it's not exactly sexy, but it's in, I think, enough. I've had to cut out a little piece of the end of the rafter to allow me to go around that stone without having to take it out. And I think that'll be fine. I don't think any strength will be compromised. And so next up, I'm going to use my mixed up cement to attach these little tower stones in place. And I've been waiting to do this for a really long time, and I'm extremely excited about this step. So it would seem that I'm so excited about this step that I just got carried away and managed to screw up the filming. So I tried to film myself putting those in place, but something with the camera went haywire and it didn't work. So luckily I've got another post over here. Let's try this again. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I'm in amongst the foliage, which makes filming difficult. So this is the tower now, and I'll check in again when it's all done. Okay, folks, there she is in all her glory. We've got a little mini tower, another one over there, and I'm really happy with how it's gone. My initial plan was to take these white things, chop them to size, and then assemble them by putting two halves together and then sealing up the mortar join. But I'm thinking now of perhaps a more creative idea, so I'm going to leave this for another day while I ponder. And instead, I'm going to take this piece of wood down from up there. I'm going to get that rafter from the tree, and then I've got another one over here. And so my goal for the rest of this day is to make those 3 other pieces of wood look like this rafter here, including rounding the end off, notching out the front, and staining it as well. I'd also love to get down on the land and do a little bit of pruning of my olive trees, just taking off some of the dead branches, because the weather has been heating up extremely quickly, and I definitely want to put those dead branches into a burn pile, which means I should get to that fairly soon before the weather gets dry and crispy and burn piles aren't allowed anymore. So the towers are looking good, things are coming together, but I've got a really busy day ahead of me if I want to get to some olive trees and finish off 3 more rafters. So I'm gonna put the camera away, and when you see me next time, probably tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have 3 more rafters up there ready to be installed. Hello from a brand new, beautiful blue sky day. I have 3 more rafters ready to be installed, but as you can see, they're not up there. They're actually over here chilling on the sawhorses, and that's because I have to make 1 more rafter. I've decided to go with 4 instead of just 3, and I figured I'll put them all up at the same time, and then we can do a great reveal when they're all in place. Right now, my focus is going to be on topping those little towers, and I have an idea that might just be a little crazy. It involves this stone here, but before I mark up that and cut it, got my grinder gear. We're going over to the side of the house where I'm going to be attempting something very strange, and I don't know if it's going to work, so we'll figure it out together. Alright, so I've got 3 of these things cut. See if you can maybe guess what they're for. I have no idea if this is going to look completely crappy or really cool, but time will tell. Next thing I need to do is mark up this stone and then cut this to size as well. Okay, this piece is cut. It needs some modifications. I need more of these guys, but I'll do it all off camera. See if you can guess what I'm trying to make, and I'll see you soon with all of the pieces ready to go. Okay folks, the pieces are made. Maybe you guessed what it was. It appears to be an overly complicated artistic feature for the top of the posts for no other reason than to make my life a lot harder than it needs to be. But I feel like this looks pretty cool, and I definitely do love an overcomplicated stone-related artistic feature that took a very long time to make, caused a lot of dust, and was kind of a pain in the ass. But it's these little features that I think give my place the level of character that I'm hoping to achieve. It's kind of an artistic project for me as much as it is a house build, which is why I go incredibly slowly. Everything takes a lot of thought. Even now, I gotta say, I'm not 100% sold on the idea. It's gonna be quite difficult to make the whole thing level and square, so I've got some tools of the trade there. And it might be just difficult to make it not look crappy. Or it might end up looking really amazing. Time will tell, but I do know that it's these little extra features, these little additions, artistic touches that keep things interesting for me. So you can probably tell this is going to be very, very finicky and difficult to actually do, and therefore that means it's going to be hard to film. So I would like to be able to say that things are going to plan, but if I'm honest, I feel like things are looking a little bit dubious and unruly. So the camera is going away, I need to focus, and when you see me again, this post will be done. So that took forever, and I only managed to get one of the posts done. Do I love it? No, I don't think so. Do I hate it? Also no. I'm somewhere in between. And part of the reason for my apprehension about this is how long it took me. Making this thing square and level was only partly successful. It's still not totally square, not totally level, but it took me ages just to get to this point. I obviously need to clean it up and point it still, so I think it'll look better once I get all that done. It is highlighting the fact that these posts aren't actually sitting square on the top of the towers, but I think, I don't know, I think it's kind of an interesting feature. What do you guys think? Yay or nay to my weird, overcomplicated tower topping stone feature? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Should I tear it all out and start over? Or should I power on and do the second tower in the same style? I think I'm gonna leave it because it took me so long to actually do, but the idea of doing the second one is filling me with a little bit of dread and horror because it took ages, and as you can see, the sun is blazing. I'm definitely not ready for this warm weather, but here it is, really, really quickly, it's upon us. So as usual, I'm blabbing on at the end of the video. Normally it's due to tiredness. This time I am tired, but I'm also gonna blame it on the fact that I'm completely overheating. I'm overdressed, the weather is really hot, and I'm just not ready for it. I thought we'd have, I don't know, a little bit of some kind of in-between season before we got into the super hot weather, but it's here, and I guess I'll just need to adjust. So I'm gonna say goodbye from this video. I feel like I got a big push of work done on the pergola, and I think there's one more video left in the pergola project before I can call it quits. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to know what you think of my little weird tower artistic feature. And yeah, as always, any questions or comments, please do leave them below. I love hearing from people. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.